Hello everybody, welcome, I'm Zoe welcome. So basically in this one for reading, I'm Zoe This is going to be for a reading for whoever's going to be watching this YouTube video. You know, this is the way it goes. This is for June 2nd to June 12th of 2025. Basically this is going to be a tarot card reading as well. You know, if it's very impressive, if you like it, you enjoy it, that's why I think it'd be, basically, whatever the zodiac sign comes out, basically how it seems to be in that way, and you need to understand about your own negotiations, your own desires, your own ways about how you're feeling and stuff. So, the way how this is, the way how you can understand about how it seems to be, you have to understand of how it is, and you think that, okay, well, everything seems to be fine, I know what to do, I got this, alright, and that's how it seems to be. So you have to understand about how it is, and you have to know about this. It's going to be like a brief moment. You have to think about how you can understand and how you can impose what you're looking for, and it's based on how you feel, how you're thinking of, right? It's like how you can meditate, or you have to do your own ways about how this is. This is not like a side action. This is not the way of how you're going to impose about the situation. Say, alright, well, this is the way it goes, right? This is the way it happens. And normally it kind of works in a way, and you're thinking, okay, well, I need to do this as long as it needs to, and you think that everything seems to be fine, but then how you can do it, right? That's the way it goes, right? So when you have your own emotions and you pay attention on how you're feeling day by day process, even during the week, or even during the month, or even during the year, you pay attention on how you're feeling, based on how you can be emphasize your own ways about your own experiences from the right and wrong perspective. That's the way it goes. This is how it is. So this oracle card, it says, honesty. I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. That's what it seems to be. When you have honesty, it is the best policy there is. But you have to pay attention to it. So if you're being honest, if you're telling the truth, if you know what to do, you pay attention on how it is, right? This is the way of how it goes, right? You need to understand about the possibilities who are out there who understand that. So if you have your own truths, or if you have honesty, you have your own self-respect, right? Whether if you're in a long-term relationship, short-term relationship, it doesn't matter. But whether if you are, how it is in that way, but you have to know what it is, right? So you have to understand what your own weaknesses, your own ways, your own the way of how it is. But then you have to understand that that's the way it seems to be. So when you have honesty, you pay attention to it. That's the way it seems to be, and that's the way how it goes. That's the way it seems to be in that way, right? So that's how it is. So basically, we're going to look at what's going on. This is going to be a very interesting tarot reading as well. Because I'm going to figure it out in one way or another, and we're going to figure out what the universe is saying and all that stuff, right? We're going to figure out how it is. So, this is the way it seems to be. This is the way kind of impose of the situation, knowing about this is the way it seems to be in that way, and you think that everything seems to be fine, but then it's like how you can understand it and do how you can understand it, how you're feeling, the way how you can believe it, how you can overachieve it. That's the way it seems to be, right? So when you have your own experiences, you pay attention to what's happening in that perspective. That's the way it seems to be. So here we go. So this is a huge reading, by the way. It's very huge. It's based on how you're feeling. Let's see. Let's start off from the left side, shall we? So we have the Knight of Pentacles reversed. There is no trust here. I don't know why you're being not trusted. The Sun reversed, your negativity, because you're drawn into negativity. When you are negative, based on how you're feeling, it's like you're not staying positive. You're in negative. When you're in negative, it's like you don't like it. You don't like yourself. You don't want to participate, and that's how it is. The Sun Pentacles is right where you're having your own career. You're focusing on your career. That's fine, because that's the way it seems to be. You're focusing about having your own career. So you could be focusing on Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, and one or another. That's the way it goes. The King of Pentacles, it does represent, your own work environment. Like it does represent where you're making money, where you do what you can. That's the way it seems to be. That's the way it kind of imposed, right? That's how it is. That's the way it seems to be. The Sun wants that, right? You're feeling, resilience, right? Because you're feeling like, why I'm feeling like this. I don't want to act like this. But then you have to understand what your basic needs, your basic wants, your own dignity of self-respect about what's happening that way. You're thinking, okay, well, I need to understand. I need to focus on this. It's like, yes, but in that gratification about how you're feeling, it's like how you can do it in one or another. That's the way it seems to be, right? You have to impose about how you're feeling in one or another. It's like how you can understand this. This is not a bad track. This is the way of how you're feeling, but this is the way it seems to be. The Tower is upright because it represents a transformation, because everything's transforming. Everything is just how it is, right? It's like how everything's going to be in that way. And you're thinking, okay, this is very fine. I need to get to this. I need to get to the point of knowing what to do because this is the way it seems to be. This is how you can impose about the situation. That's how it is. And the Chariot is upright because there's progress. You're having progress because you need to make progress. That's the way it seems to be. But in that way, it's like how you can understand about how you're feeling, how you're going to get what you want, what you need. But this is the way it seems to be. You have to impose about how you can do it in one or another and thinking, okay, well, I got this, but it's the way it seems to be, right? That's how it is. So let's see what the universe is saying here. So let's see what's going on. So let me try to figure out, let me clarify. I'll clarify between the Seven Pentacles, the Nine Pentacles, and the Sun card. So I'm going to clarify. I'll do a 3-card way about how it is. So you have the 9 cups reversed, there's no fulfillment. The Hierophant reversed, there's no guidance. But the 3 of Swords, right, there's heartbreak. Yeah, because you're feeling sad, you're whimpering, it's like you're saying, woe with me, I don't want to do it anymore, because, things are not working out, things are not going as planned, it's the way of how you can understand, well, how you can express yourself of how it is, right? So you could do it in a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, as the way it goes, because that's the way it seems to be. It's like how you can be your own way about knowing what to do, and you think, okay, alright, I know what to do, I got this, but then it's the way it seems to be, right? So you have to impose what you're looking for. This is based on that. So, that's the way it seems to be. So let's clarify the 3 of Swords here. We do the 3-card reading. So 9 of Cups is upright, probably the 5 of Cups is upright, probably the 9 of Pentacles is right. Yeah, because you're not basically focusing about trust with anybody. You're having grief. You want romance. Things are going to be very good, but then it's like how you can understand how you're feeling one way or another, because you have to understand about how you can have your own basic needs, your wants, your own discoveries, because that's the way it seems to be in that way, because you're thinking, okay, well, this is the way it needs to be, I got this, how it is. What's up with this Knight of Pentacles here? The 10 of Swords are right, yeah, because there's basically lots of conclusions, right? You're thinking, well, I need all these conclusions for, why? Because that's the way it seems to be. It's like you need to understand about how you can feel in one or another, and you're thinking, okay, well, I need to do, I got this, but this is the way it seems to be, That's why you have to have your own self-expression, because you know what to do. You need to know how you can do it to get the grapple of whole entire things, you know what I mean, right? You pay attention on how you to do it, because that's the way it seems to be. What's happening between the middle and the right side? So let's say from the King of Pentacles all the way to the Chariot, and all the way to the Tower. So let me see. So Empresses is upright, followed the Lovers is upright, followed the 2 of Swords is upright, followed the World reversed, followed the 9 Pentacles is upright. So basically, 9 Pentacles does represent comfort, because you're being comfortable, The World reversed there was basically incompletion, there's something that was incompleted. But the 2 of Swords is upright. You don't know which direction you're going to take, left or right. But let me clarify, because I'm going to clarify between who's on the left side, who's on the right side. So 4 of Wands reversed, 3 of Pentacles reversed, the Fool is upright, okay? So that's on the left side. What's on the right side? The Swords reversed, followed by the King of Swords is upright. Yeah, because there is basically knowledge here, right? So when things are looking, how it is in that way of how it is, it's like how it seems to be, right? This is the way it seems to be in one way or another. And when you have honesty, you pay attention on how you're feeling, because that's the way it seems to be. What's in the middle of this situation? The Nine Wands reversed, for the Magician is upright. Yeah, because you want to have skill, you want things to be happening in that perspective, and you think, okay, well, this is the way it seems to be. I need to know what to do, and you're thinking, all right, well, I need my own priorities. I need to satisfy what I want. That's the way it seems to be. And when you do that, you need to impose what you're feeling in one way or another. It's like how you can understand that, right? That's the way it seems to be. So let's see what's happening in the middle. So from the middle to left, middle to right. So the Strength card reversed, for the World reversed, for the Star reversed, for the Hangman reversed, for the Wheel of Fortune is upright, for the Justice reversed, for the Emperor reversed, for the Hermit reversed, followed by the Empress is upright. Yeah, because there's nourishment. That's the way it goes, right? It's like you're being nourished, you're being who you are, that's the way it goes. The Justice reversed, you're not telling the truth because you're lying about something. I have no idea, because that's the way it seems to be, right? It's like how it kind of unfolds, but you have to pay attention on what's going on that way. That's the way it seems to be, right? You have to have your own self-expression to understand what's going on. So what's happening between the middle and the right side, please? The Temperance is upright, there's healing. The Justice reversed, you're not telling the truth. The Hierophant reversed, there's no guidance. The Devil reversed, there's no obsessions. The Hangman is upright, there's restrictions. The Fool reversed, there's no change. And the Death card is upright because there's basically endings here, but you could represent Scorpio as well. So it's like there's something that's happening between you and another person. It could be that things are not going as planned. So it's like how you can do it, right? So it's like who's on the left side that basically is telling me that just reverse on the left side tells me that there was lying here. So let's see what's happening on that side, shall we? The World is upright, there's completion. The Empress is upright, there's nourishment here. Yeah, because there is lots of Empresses here. So there was the Empress here, there was the Empress here, there's the Empress here. Like there's 3 Empresses here, which means that there is basically lots of feminine, lots of woman indication here. That's the way it seems to be, because that's how it kind of imposes that. What's happening between this Justice card? So let me clarify. The Wheel of Fortune is upright, there's good luck. The Hermit is upright because there's solitude, right? Because you're looking for a soulmate. Because you need to understand about how you can do it in one or another. It's like why I need to feel like this, why I need to impose about this situation, because the way of how this is, it's like how you can understand about how you're feeling, how you want, how you discover about how you're feeling. That's the way it seems to be. And when things are being into another perspective, you pay attention to it. When you pay attention, you know how it is. You know how you're feeling. You know how you understand how it takes. Because about that way, you're comparing 2 things at once. One makes sense, one doesn't make sense. You know what I mean, right? Because that's the way it seems to be. When you do that, it's like how you can understand of how you're feeling. Because that's the way it seems to be. It's like you need to understand how you're learning in one or another, right? Because you need to have your own self-expression to pay attention to what's happening. You have to focus about how it is in one or another. It's like how everything is in that way, right? You have to have your own basic strategy about knowing what to do, because that's the way it seems to be. So let's see what the universe is saying here, because that's the way it seems to be. So I'm going to go from the middle to left, middle to right. For one to start with, there's celebration. The 6 Pentacles here, there's no kindness. The 5 Swords here, there's no revenge. 7 Swords here, there's no decent. Page 1 here, there's no invention. The Magician is upright, there's skill. Queen 1 here, there's no charisma. 5 of Cups is upright, there's grief. Yeah, because that's the way it goes, right? Because you're not acting kindness, you're in the wrong, you're not in the right, that's the way it seems to be. It's like you're paying attention on how you're feeling, because that's the way it seems to be imposing about that situation. You're trying to get what you want, but then how you're focusing on that, right? Because if you're grieving, your life is on the line, whatever it is, you pay attention on how you're feeling, because that's the way it seems to be in that way. What's happening between the middle and the right side, please? The Judgment reverse, there's no action. Ace of Pentacles card, there's growth. The King of Cups reverse, there's no support. Eight of Swords card, there's anxiety. Five of Pentacles card, there's insecurity. Yeah, because that's the way it seems to be. It's like you pay attention on how you're feeling. This is based on that. It's based on how you're feeling. This is not a trilogy contest, or this is not a series of events, whatever it is. But this is how you're feeling, because if you're feeling like you're going to have anxiety, if you're having grief, if things are not going as planned, it's like, what's the point, That's how it is. What's in the middle of the situation? The Ace of Wands is alright, there's new beginnings. So it's like you pay attention on how you're feeling, because that's the way it seems to be. It's like you need to understand about how you can be honest, be respectful, be how you're feeling, because that's the way it seems to be. It's like you need to know about how it is one or another, right? So you have to understand about how you're feeling in one or another, because there is a way of how you're feeling in one perspective and another perspective. You have to pay attention, because if you're being the Empress, for example, and you're being her, or if you're being unkind, what's the point, You have to understand about how you're going to survive, how you're going to impose what you're looking for. It's based on that. You have to know about how you can understand that, because you have to be who you are, be who you want, be who you get. That's how it seems to be. You pay attention, right? So basically how it is one or another, because you have to face your own abilities from the right and wrong perspective. That's all you can do, but that's how it seems to be. So before I let you all go, try to pay attention on how you're feeling. Try to pay attention to what's going on that way, when you have your own dialogue, when your own way of how you're feeling. But that's how it seems to be. You have to know about how it is, because you have to be who you are, right? That's how it is. So I hope you all like this video. Please give a like. Please give a comment, because this is the way it seems to be. This is the way it seems to understand. But that's how thank you. Bye for now, really. Thank you, and bye.